In lesson 08, we're going to look at some statistical analysis. We're going to find the measures of center and spread of a data set, and we're going to find how to organize or use tools to organize statistical data. Now, statistics is the science of collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and presenting data. The branch of stats that focuses on collecting and summarizing and displaying is known as descriptive statistics. Data in one variable or data type are called univariate data. These data can be described by a measure of central tendency, which represents the center or the middle of the data. It's simply a number, one number that represents the model that we're looking at or the set of data, the one number that represents the best description of the middle. The three most common measures of central tendency you'll be well familiar with. They are mean, median, and mode, and these are fairly easy to remember and how to do. There's a little bit of description in here between the difference of a population versus a sample. Whenever you hear the word population, that means you are able to sample or able to get the entire membership of people, objects, or events interested to be analyzed. So you're able to analyze every single person or object that you're interested in. But if it's impossible to find the entire, or to get the entire set, sometimes you use a sample set, which is a subset of the population. So if we do a sample, we randomly sample from the population. If we want the population, that means we are able to get the entire group of people or objects and do the analysis on them. What I want to do is call out two facts here, that when you see mu, we talked about this last year, mu represents the population of the mean. So this means we were able to sample every single object or person that we wanted to do in our analysis. When we see x bar means that we just took a sample. So the reason we have two different characters is because did we actually sample the population or did we sample just a portion of it? So we've got our three ideas of mean, median, and mode. I just remind you that in a median, make sure that you put them in numerical order before you find the middle. And the other thing that you have is if there's two values in the middle, you simply average those two middle values and come up with your median. So your median could actually be a value that's out of your data set just as the mean is. Okay, so since I have to find the median in this data set, I'm going to put the data set in order right away. Hopefully get them in order without mistake. I got 2, and then I got a 3, and then we got 4 and a 4. So I'm going to work on putting them in order, and I'll come back and that'll shorten up this video. Okay, so I've arranged the data set in order. I don't really need them in order to find the median, but like I said, because I knew I had to find the median, I put them in order anyway. So now at this point, I'm going to find the mean, and this must be my entire population, so I'm going to figure that this is a mu equals the average. So I'm going to take 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus, I'm going to add all those up, and then I'm going to divide by the total number of scores, which is 12. And once again, I'm going to just pause this, run through the calculation, and come back to that. Okay, doing that sum, I came up with 109 as a total sum divided by 12. So the average should be 9.083 repeating, or we have about 9.08 is the mean of that group. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to find the median. In order to find the median, I have to find the middle of the data. So since we had 12, there should be 2 in the middle, so I'm going to work off the ends. And when I get to the middle, I'm going to average those two. So I'm going to have to average between a 7 and a 10. So when we get 2 in the middle, we simply add them and then divide by 2. So that is 17 divided by 2, and half of 17. Should be about 8.5. So our median is 8.5. So the numbers are close, but they're not exactly. So we'll get different measures of central tendency or different numbers to measure the middle by the different statistical idea that we use. And finally, the mode. In mode, it's nice to have them in order too, because then you can see which ones occur most often. 4 occurs twice, so that means our mode is 4. So you can see there's difference between all our different values of central tendency. So mean, median, and mode.